Hello, my name is Alex and I am in a first aid and CPR class. And so for part of the class, we are showing scenarios that we might be in case of an emergency. And so this video, I'm going to be showing how to treat a second-degree burn that happens to myself. So I'll be the victim in this scenario. This one's called making dinner. And so to kind of set the scene, I am making dinner with friends and we're making spaghetti. And so the spaghetti had just boiled, and I'm bringing the pot of boiling water with spaghetti in it over to the sink to drain it. And as I'm bringing it over, it slips a little bit, and the boiling water splashes over my arm. Ouch. So what I'm gonna wanna do is, first I understand that it's a second-degree burn because I see red and swelling on my arm, and there's blisters starting to form, and I can feel a lot of pain. So that tells me that it's second degree, and so I'm going to want to first remove the heat source. So in this case, I gently put down the pot. And then secondly, I'm going to want to come over to some tap water. So make sure that it's cold and keep it running over the burn until the pain stops. If in this case it's just a smaller burn, but if it were a larger burn, then I would want to call 911, and a larger burn would generally be, so just pretend this water is still running over my arm. A larger burn would cover more than 10% of my body area. I would also want to call 911 if I were a child, which I'm not, or if I had a chronic illness, or if it were on like my face or something, but it's just on my arm, so I can treat it here at home. So the water's running, cold water over my arm, and what I'm gonna wanna do next is remove any long sleeves that could be in the way and jewelry that I may have on, because this could be a problem if my arm starts to swell and cause infection and stuff like that. And lastly, I'm gonna wanna take a non-stick dressing and put it lightly over the burn. I'm not going to want to tape it. It's not going to want to stick to me because that's going to cause further pain. And just to add a special note at the end, I'm not going to want to break the blisters myself because that leads to further infection. So that's what to do if you get a second degree burn with boiling water. Thanks for watching. Okay, so for scenario number 2, I'm going to show you what to do if one of your friends starts to choking. There's a complete airway obstruction. So this scenario is called food court. And to kind of set the scene, I am at a Chinese restaurant with a lot of people and my friends, and I'm with my friends. We're all having a good time laughing, and my friend Josh becomes silent, and he's holding his throat, and he's not able to breathe, cough, or make any noise. And so he's starting to panic. And so what I'm going to want to do, first, this is going to be my friend Josh. This is his torso. His head is going to be up here, and his legs are down here. And so first I'm going to want to ask him if he's choking and if he needs help. So I tell him I'm going to help him. And so what I'm going to want to do is get behind him and then put one of my legs in between his legs to kind of have him against me. And then I'm going to take one of my hands, my right hand in this case, one of my hands, and find where his navel is, and then make a fist with the thumb pressing against the abdomen a little bit above the navel. I'm going to take my other hand and wrap it around that fist, and I'm going to give quick inward and upward thrusts on him. And I'm going to keep doing this until the food becomes expelled out of his mouth or he becomes unresponsive. Now, if the victim were pregnant or if Josh were very large and I could not wrap my arms around him, I would want to instead make the same fist and put my other hand around it, and instead on the abdomen, I'm going to want to do the inward thrust in the middle of the breastbone of the chest and do those inward thrusts. And like I said, I would have to stop if my friend Josh becomes unresponsive, and then if that were the case, I would do basic life support and have someone call 911 and get some further help. Also, if he does come unresponsive and am giving basic life support, I'm going to want to check before I give breath to see if I can see what's lodged in his throat and get it out safely. If not, then I keep giving the help that he needs. Thank you. Okay. So for my third scenario, I am going to do in class. And so in this video, I'm going to demonstrate what to do if you ever come across someone who is likely to be having a major seizure. So to set the scene for this one, I'm a student, I'm in class, and the person next to me becomes very rigid, starts to jerk, and falls to the floor and is vigorously convulsing. So my main job right now is to protect this person. We'll say this side is the head over here. The first thing I'm going to want to do is to make sure there's no dangerous objects around and to put padding around their head. So in this scenario, they said, the description said that there were some objects on a bookshelf, and that's here. And so if one of these objects I thought could fall on one of us, I would move the object. But right now I'm putting myself between the person who's having the seizure and the bookshelf so they don't hit the bookshelf to knock stuff over. And like I said, another first step you're going to take is to put padding around the person's head to protect them and to comfort them. And make sure it doesn't hit the hard floor. Secondly, if they happen to be wearing some eyeglasses, I'm going to want to remove the eyeglasses as well as loosening some tight clothing that may be around them, especially around the neck area. Next, I'm going to check for if they have a med bracelet or necklace, and if I do find one of these, I'm going to want to call 911. If this person starts vomiting, which may happen, I'm going to want to gently tilt their head to the side so that the vomit can drain out, because I want to keep the airway unobstructed so they can continue breathing. Then after the seizure is over, I'm going to want to put them in the Haynes recovery position to continue monitoring their breathing and make sure there's nothing obstructing and that they are still breathing. And lastly, there are times where you're going to want to call 911 under certain situations. So that may be if the person is pregnant, if the person is epileptic, if the person has another seizure, if the seizure lasts over 5 minutes, or if they have one of those Med ID bracelets. So like I said, to kind of recap, you do just mainly want to protect this person and make sure nothing goes wrong, and just to be there. Another thing to keep in mind is after they are regaining, coming to again, you're going to want to be reassuring and comforting them that you're helping them and that everything's going to be okay. Thank you.